The first application of Maxmatic's Great Squircator was a telephone directory. It seemed very practical. All you had to do was type the name of any Matic and the Squircator would immediately give you his telephone number. But there was still one problem. The Matics had to go to the Squircator every time they wanted a phone number. And by the time they got home, they'd already forgotten the number. And building a Squircator for each inhabitant was just too much. So Maxmatic set out to solve this new problem. "I've got it," he thought. And indeed he had. You remember that in addition to its memory and its central processing unit, the Squircator had an input for putting information in the memory or questioning it, and it also had an output for reading what was written in the memory. If this input and this output were connected to simple telephone wires, the wires could be made as long as you wanted. This meant that anyone could ask the Squircator a question from a distant or even remote location using what our computer specialists call a terminal. And what's to stop us from connecting 2, 4, or even several hundred terminals to the same central Squircator? This is called a data communications or telematics network. Each Matic got his own terminal and could ask the Squircator questions directly from his own home. Although for the moment the only answers the Great Squircator could give were telephone numbers. But Maxmatic thought that if he could put names and telephone numbers in the Squircator, it must also be possible to store all sorts of other useful information, such as the price of cabbages and carrots at the Matic's markets, or the flight schedules for Matic's Airways. That way the Matic cooks could find the cheapest carrots just by asking the Squircator. And Matic travelers could reserve a seat on the next plane to Matic Beach. But Maxmatic also dreamed of putting a host of other things in his Squircator. Things like drawings, and perhaps even music. But we'll get to his dreams later.